Dominance, redemption, and a little bit of deja vu. Super Bowl 59 had it all. But the biggest question coming out of this game isn't just about the Eagles' triumph, it's about the Chiefs' future. Should Kansas City fans be concerned? Let's break it all down on Bloodline Sports.
The Eagles dominated the Chiefs 40-22 in Super Bowl 59 on Sunday to capture their second Super Bowl in franchise history and stop the Chiefs' three-peat. Jalen Hurts won MVP as he was unstoppable both on the ground and in the air.
Yeah, I mean, he was dominant the whole time through the air with his legs. He did it all. The wide receivers were hot. Saquon contributed. But I will tell you this, my friend, the biggest star in this game was the relentless Eagles defense. They would not let Patrick Mahomes do anything. That was concerning because the Chiefs offense got exposed.
Yeah, no, that defense was unstoppable. They sacked Patrick Mahomes 6 times. 6. And they had multiple interceptions from stars, such as the pick 6 from Cooper DeJean. So it was, I'm going to be honest, it was bad watching it all happen. It was ugly.
It wasn't a pretty picture for sure.
No.
It wasn't a pretty picture for sure. The Eagles came into play. The Chiefs were not ready. And what happened next? Oh, Lord have mercy. So let's move on.
Yeah.
Kansas City's offense never got going. They were out of rhythm. Patrick Mahomes struggled to get away from the relentless Philadelphia Eagles defense. But the Eagles jumped out to a 34-0 lead before they even knew what happened. And then the Eagles finally got on the board late in the third round, but it was a little too late when Xavier Worthy and DeAndre Hopkins scored late touchdowns. By then, it was pretty much done.
Yes. In the third round, apparently.
Did I say third round?
You said third round.
Third quarter. Okay.
It was pretty much a one-side boxing match, though. It was pretty much that, so you could say that. Yeah, no. Being a Chiefs fan, the game. No, not me being a Chiefs fan, but if you're a Chiefs fan, the game was pretty boring until the third quarter. It was pretty depressing until the third quarter. Chiefs finally got on the board, and in the fourth as well, but by then it was pretty much too late. It was just garbage time scoring. Because the Eagles stopped trying.
Yep.
In the third, and it got bad enough to the point that in the fourth quarter, with 3 minutes in the game, the Eagles put Kenny Pickett in. Kenny Pickett, who was drafted by the Steelers last year or the year before.
It was actually he was drafted by the Tennessee Titans.
He was?
Yes, and then he got traded to the Steelers. But yeah, talk about in the very end bringing Kenny Pickett in. That's throwing salt on the wound, on the open wound. Eagles fans were devastated.
Yeah,
they could see the cracks. They had been there all season long as the Chiefs had shown a little bit of weakness throughout the season. A lot of people were coming in and saying that the refs were helping them, throwing phantom flags here and there. You could see it. You could see it in this game. You could see the flaws. You could see that the Chiefs did not have what they had last year.
Yeah, the Chiefs forgot to pay the refs before the game. They forgot to give them their money before the game started.
Oh, man. All right, so let's move on. So reports are suggesting that Travis Kelce is thinking about retirement. I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but if he does retire, what does that mean for Mahomes and the Chiefs moving forward? Does this mean that this could be the end of the Chiefs dynasty in Kansas City? And are they in danger?
I think this means absolutely nothing.
Okay.
I think that regardless of whether Travis Kelce decides to stay or retire, nothing's going to change because I'm going to just straight up say it. He sucks now. He's washed. He had a horrible season. He only had a few hundred yards on the season, and 2 touchdowns. He didn't really perform well until the playoffs.
Yeah, and he didn't have no presence whatsoever in the playoffs at all. And he was
Not
non-existent in the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah, I know. No, he just isn't at the level that he used to be. In my personal opinion, I think that he should retire because, if he continues to play, it's just going to get worse and worse for him. I think so. I think that regardless of whether he retires or not, nothing much is going to change. The only thing that's going to stay the same is that the Eagles whooped the Chiefs this past Super Bowl, and now that is enshrined in history.
Yeah, and I think if Travis Kelce does decide to retire, I think it will hurt the Chiefs because that dynamic duo between him and Mahomes has been pretty dominant the last few years. But in this year, you could tell that dominance between that dynamic duo was not there.
Non-existent.
And Travis Kelce being absent in the playoffs and being absent in the Super Bowl, maybe he was thinking about the proposal that he had planned for Taylor Swift if they won the Super Bowl, which didn't happen. But in the end, the Eagles proved their dominance. Whether Kelce retires or not, we'll see if it affects the Chiefs going on into the next season and their dominance and their dynasty in question. We will find out when we get to it next year. So, All right, my brother, let's move on.
Two years after the heartbreaking loss in Super Bowl 57, Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles came into this game looking for revenge, and they got it. They did just that, shutting down the Kansas City Chiefs and reclaiming their spot at the top of the mountain.
Yeah, I mean, let me tell you, they came into this game not only thinking about what happened to them 2 years ago that fueled their drive to do what they did in this game, but also, if you remember hearing this, because I heard this, was the Chiefs were already wanting to start celebrating their three-peat. As a matter of fact, Pat Riley, who was the coach of the Lakers when they became the first team to win, well, not the first team, but they won 3 championships in a row, he coined the term three-peat, which he trademarked. And he came out and said, if the Kansas City Chiefs win the Super Bowl, I am giving them permission to use the phrase three-peat. So that fired the Eagles team even up more. The defense came out and said, oh, really? Well, let's see what you got, brothers. And then what happened? The rest of the story is not a good one for Kansas City Chiefs fans.
Yeah. Speaking of stories, I guess you could say the Philadelphia Eagles finished the story.
They did. A la Cody Rhodes.
They finished the story by avenging that loss 2 years ago, taking down the Chiefs and destroying them. It wasn't even close this time. Nowhere near close as the last game was, which would have been nice to have a good game. Like, I guess if you were an Eagles fan, it was a good game. But I mean, like, in terms of, like, just teams performing well, it would have been nice to have that. But regardless, all that matters is that the Eagles got the job done.
Yeah, and we did our predictions the week before, and we talked about how this was going to be the game of the century. We thought this game was going to be just this knockdown, drag-down fight between two juggernauts, and we got nothing. We didn't get that.
Well, I'm like...
It was only one-sided.
Yeah, it was one-sided. One of the teams was being a juggernaut. One of the teams was.
Yep.
That obviously being the Eagles. But this game, watching this game made me realize something.
What's that? Here comes the Rams plug. Go ahead.
Had we had a coach that thought that it was a bad idea to pass on 3rd and 2.
Thought it was a good idea instead of running.
Had we had a coach that thought it was a bad idea.
Yeah.
Instead of running, instead of passing the ball on 3rd and 2, that could have been the Rams this past Sunday.
Could have?
Because they would have definitely taken down the Commanders, and with how horrendous the Chiefs were playing, they could have beaten them too. That's probably the closest we're going to get to winning the Super Bowl in like the next 20 years.
And this is what fans do all the time. We play the coulda, shoulda, woulda. But guess what, my brother? They didn't, and they weren't there. So
well, it's fine.
it was the Eagles' turn. They dominated Kansas City. And again, the question comes is, should Kansas City fans be concerned?
Yeah.
We'll see.
No, I'm going to be honest. I think it was only a matter of time before the Eagles won another one. Watching them keep it close in that game a few years ago, I had a feeling that even within the next 3 years, they were going to have one, and I was right. So, yeah, Philadelphia Eagles are the NFL champions.
That they are, my friend. That they are. So, let's keep going.
Yeah.
So, this is our debate time. And here's what I got to say about this. The Chiefs have been to four Super Bowls in the last 6 years. But with the possibility of Travis Kelce retiring and their defense getting exposed, I will say this again. Is this mighty Chiefs dynasty, is it over?
Yeah, I think this is the beginning of the end for them. I think that this is a start of what will eventually become what has happened of previous dynasties before, where it just gets to the point where they go from this team that's on top basically every year to just being one of those regularly mid-seeded team in the playoffs that gets first or second rounded and doesn't really achieve much success each season other than it being the same thing over and over again. Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah.
I think that's what's going to happen to them. They're going to get the Pittsburgh Steelers treatment. And like 10 years from now, they're just going to be going like 9-7, 9-8, 10-7, 11-6 every year, losing to some other mid-level team like the Jaguars or Texans or like heck, maybe even the Bills. But I think that this is it.
The Bills are not a joker team though.
No. So, well, they may be in 10 years from now.
No.
Maybe 10 years from now.
Maybe.
But
maybe. All right, but
that's still another 10 years.
Yeah.
I think this is it for the Chiefs.
But I will say this though, you are going to have NFL fans, especially Kansas City fans, who are going to say, whoa, hold on. Patrick Mahomes is still in his prime. And Coach Andy Reid is still one of the best coaches in the NFL. So they will tell you that the Chiefs will just be fine. Will they be? I don't know. I think there should be some concern there. But I will say this. How many teams have won 2 Super Bowls in a row, have gone for the three-peat, and have failed? You start with the Green Bay Packers.
Technically, the Packers did three-peat, but they won their first title before the Super Bowl existed.
I'm talking the Super Bowl era. Green Bay, you have...
I can name them all.
Name them all. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so we started with the Green Bay Packers. Then we had the Miami Dolphins.
Yep.
Then we had the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yep.
Then we had the Pittsburgh Steelers again.
Yeah.
Then we had the San Francisco 49ers.
Look at him go.
Then we had the Dallas Cowboys.
Yes.
Then we had the Patriots multiple times. No, because they only repeated in the 2000s. So we had the Patriots. There wasn't really a team. The Seahawks almost did it.
Yeah.
In the 2010s, and then in the 2020s, it was the Chiefs. So that's around 8 teams-ish.
That's right. That's why I call him the brain.
I know a thing or two.
You know a thing or two, and history is one of your things, especially sports history. But I will say this. It's been a hard road for those teams who have won back-to-back Super Bowls. When they get to that chance to get that third Super Bowl, never happens. Will we ever see it in our lifetime? I have no idea. But I know this. I think it's going to be a while before we see something like this happen again.
Yeah, I think it will eventually happen. Without considering how close they got, they were 18 points away, 19 points away from three-peating. They were 19 points away from three-peating.
Yeah, 19 points from three-peating, but you're talking about it, 19 points with garbage time touchdowns. So
yeah, no. I'm gonna be honest though. I think Kansas City fans just need to be quiet and share with other teams. We could use another one of those. I know we just won one a few years ago, but we should I think we should get another one of those for almost beating the Eagles. So I think we should get a participation award for nearly taking down the Eagles in Philadelphia in the snow.
Oh, man. Yeah. Well, with that, my brother, let's move on. So Super Bowl 59 will be remembered as the game where the Eagles got their revenge, and it could also mark the beginning of the end for the Chiefs' dominance, right?
Yep. I agree. Yeah.
You agree?
Yeah, I agree. But if you agree or not with us, let us know down in the comments below. Or should the Kansas City Chiefs be worried?
I think so. I think so that the fans should definitely be worried about this. I think that they've got problems. Will they solve them? I don't know. We will see. But the Chiefs have definitely shown a little bit of a weakness. They got a little bit exposed. Kansas City fans, be concerned. Be concerned.
Yeah.
So, as always, that brings us to the end of our show. And we like to ask you, hit that like and subscribe button wherever it's going to be. And again, put in on our comment section what you think about if the Chiefs are done, or do you think they're going to be still dominant and they're going to keep being the dynasty that they've been for the last 6 years or so. So anyways, as always, you're my pride and joy, and I love you, and this is Bloodline Sports.
It's all relative. Goodbye, everyone.